What's something that you would like to tell your brother?
You say that, and it's actually whenever I have an actual physical conversation with him, it's that same thing. I said, I won't talk to you unless it's Brett. He gets in my truck, wants a ride. He ends up not making it to the driveway because he keeps referring to we. And I said, if it's not Brett, then you just got to get out of my truck.
Yeah.
What I've tried to say is his older brother is are you not embarrassed? Do you not feel ashamed for what you're doing to your parents?
Hi, I'm Ruth Barclay, and this is Taste Your Magic, the YouTube channel, and we do so many amazing things to help you and others discover the gifts of who they are and how to amplify their life. We gain answers in many, many ways, in many categories, and today we are doing readings, and on readings, they can be some people talk to their animals, some people talk to loved ones who've passed on, and sometimes we just do an oracle reading, which is anything about them and what's going on with their life. And as you scroll through some of these videos, you're going to see there's quite a variety of questions that we get to answer. And today we have a good friend, Brandon, with us today. And Brandon, how can I support you today?
Well, we're dealing with some stuff with my brother. Seems to be very attacked and full of some dark entities. So trying to see what we possibly can have some validation on and which way we can go to try and help him.
Yeah. The good thing is you guys are in a movement of what can be done, what can be supported, where you can and can't support, and different things like that. Is there anything that you want to share? We worked together yesterday, kind of bring a little bit of clarity with your mom. Is there anything you want to share with the audience?
So my brother has had a very strong history of drug use and criminal history. He's been in jail. He was a couple of years ago, he was in solitary for 11 months.
Hey,
when he came out, he seemed to be completely different, and it's progressively gotten a lot worse. And it's not just drug use. Mm-hmm. So he seems to not be all there.
So I had a chance to talk with him for a little bit, but it was through messaging. And with him, it was, he could also hear me and communicate with me. And we were hours from each other. And I've never met him in person. And he was showing, as I would ask certain questions that I've been given and trained to expose different levels that people are at or what's coming in and influencing them. These questions that I've been trained to ask, they kind of shake up the entity or the negatives or the foreign piece that's being utilized so that the soul of who the person is can talk and answer. And as we were asking these questions, there was parts of his soul that would come through and answer the question with purity. But then there was other parts that would come in, and a classic way is riddles, like a riddle state, right?
He generally doesn't answer in a normal, you asked him to say just yes or no, and he refuses.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the ways is if you can center a question and get them to have a yes or no answer, if they won't, then there's other things at play influencing it. As I explored what's happening with him, then it started to reveal that he's about 70% him. And then we got 30% where he's either dissipating into the space or all of it, could be any of it, right? Or he's got in that vulnerability of transforming and transfiguring, he has some entities that have come in and have utilized his space. And a big part is right now he's in an extreme, vulnerable, yet very powerful state. So in these states, when you're in an in-between transition, so an in-between transition is the transition would be he could be to death or he could be transfigured into a better, cleaner space, right? And he's mentioned Jesus, right?
He believes he uses the phrase champion of the world or the greatest living being.
Yeah. And so that's actually a piece of him that's actually merging and transforming. But the communication of what's influencing him is wrapping it in a bubble to create aloneness. And so when he goes to communicate what he knows, it's wrapped up into this filter where his brother, his mom, his family, his friends hear something that would actually cause them to do the opposite than accept.
Yeah, he does everything to try and frustrate the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Everything that he does, as for speaking in plural, always. It's always we. It's never Brett.
So when I've worked with individuals in these states, or even houses or places that have been taken over, the biggest thing that I need to get clear on is if they're willing, if there's a willing space in there to recognize the differences. And so we were trying to get him to recognize Brett from the other stuff, and he was unwilling to do that.
Right.
And so what's happening is the entities have been able to integrate enough to where they're showing him secrets that are real, and they're telling him stuff that is real, that can really happen and really is part of who he is. But it's wrapped up in a false narrative of sustainability. And what I mean by that is he would have to be with them to sustain that type of feeling. And in being with them, they're creating a weakness. They're draining him. They're killing his body.
Literally.
And so unless he is attached to them or he lets them come in, then he's going to have to experience how far his body has come close to death.
Yeah.
And make those choices. And that does not feel good. It's very painful, and they're going to fight.
I can only imagine. He is at the point where he chooses his kratom or drugs over food.
Because then he doesn't have to have a living state. He can have a energetic, powerful feeling state. So yesterday, one of the referrals was that we discussed with you was, and your mom was, to ways to ask him questions to help him come through. And one of the main questions was, do you want to live?
My mom asked that right before he left. He said, I can never die.
And that was a riddle question.
Right.
Yes, because we needed a yes or no, because the soul will give a yes or a no. Or a maybe. You could even get a maybe. I'm not sure if I want to.
Sure.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Sure.
But because there wasn't a clean, pure answer that came through, then the empowered part of the entities coming through. So then the next question to ask was, if he said, yes, I want to live, the next question would be, do you want to participate in living the living? And she never got to that point because he was done.
Yeah, that was his words as he walked out the door.
So then at that point, we help her understand some ways to create safety and to filter if it's him or not in that moment, that little glimpse of moment. What can we do for you in this? What are some of your questions in this? I know there's a lot. You've seen a lot outside of what your mom's had to work with.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my own difficulties in my past between my accident and drug use and other stuff myself. So, I mean, I do feel lately I feel more powerful than ever. Like I was telling her the other day that I just felt more at peace with this. And I just don't know what my role should be to assist my parents or him in any way, or if I just keep my distance to keep my peace.
That's a very good question to ask, especially being the oldest son.
Yeah.
And having that care for your family. As far as him, I would stay in a good boundary. There's not really a help that you could give. It'd become a challenge instantly.
I think I've come to that understanding. I mean, it's difficult, but I've come to that understanding.
Yeah. Helping mom and the family. The biggest thing as a mother is, and as a father, I'm sure, is we battle. Are we doing what we should do? We have these guilts constantly on us that we weren't good enough somewhere or many places, right? And so what she needs help with is understanding that the soul of who he is still loves and knows her as that relationship mother.
And we see that when he leaves, and I think she's just having a hard time. Like when he leaves, he gives her a hug and kiss goodbye and says, love you, Mom.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cutout. But
that's good. She's going to crumble more and more. There's going to be pieces, and not being shocked like you are.
Right.
and not trying to convince her of one way or the other, just allowing her space to feel or believe what it is. And then in the end, just confirming at some point, we all have to give him his choices.
Right.
For him to go better or worse, somewhere you all have to give him his choices. And that is the best thing that you guys can do for him, is create a space where you guys are safe. And if he comes in, he has to be him, or at least a safer version, or he doesn't get to come in. And that gets to be part of his choices. And that's a gift to him.
And that's where my father's become. He's actually had him trespassed at his house, and he's not welcome there unless he's willing to follow his rules. And so my dad's been able to set that boundary and just say, hoping that he makes the choice one way or another.
Yeah.
And so far, he's chosen to just be okay with staying away, except for when he's needy. He'll still come ask for food. He still asks everybody for money always.
Yeah.
He is, I guess I should say, he lives on the street. Which right after we talked yesterday, got a phone call from the church where he's been sleeping in the alcove of the bathroom, and they called my dad, called my uncle, and said that he needs to be out of there. So he's now without a place to go altogether.
Yeah.
So he's kind of being pushed. I mean, it was ironic that happened literally right after we got done yesterday.
So
I got that
wild.
phone call. And so he's being forced to, at that point, I know you said something around 2 months, but he's at the point where he's going to have to make that choice one way or another right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 months will be, if he lives past 2 months.
I agree.
Situation.
I agree.
I think that also, so 11 months in solitary.
Yeah, 1 hour a day.
Radical.
But a lot of it was caused by him doing this. He would yell at the guards, and he would scream that he wasn't who he was and that they need to let him out right now. So they just left him in there.
Yeah. And then at that point, he's left in that environment of whoever's talking and whatever's talking to him.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, there are ways to help individuals that have different stuff happening to them in a variety of ways. And partly what was happening to him is a good thing, but it's just such a susceptible, vulnerable state. And the way he got to the so-called enlightenment, right, was unclean. And so that invites others to meddle in it. But always the individual has to have some part of them that's willing to be able to change it. And I am so proud of you for being that strength. And also, is there something you wanted to say? A gift that you have is you can actually communicate through your mind with him telepathically. And when you do this, if you do this, okay, I recommend doing it. Create it so he can't come into your room, your space. So you would go to him ultimately to talk to him.
Right.
And you would request to talk to your brother, Brett specifically. And he might get harder and harder to hear or to talk to. He might be going. But if you could do that right now, what's something that you would like to tell your brother?
You say that, and it's actually whenever I have an actual physical conversation with him, it's that same thing. I said, I won't talk to you unless it's Brett. He gets in my truck, wants a ride. He ends up not making it into the driveway because he keeps referring to we. And I said, if it's not Brett, then you just got to get out of my truck.
Yeah.
What I've tried to say is his older brother is are you not embarrassed? Do you not feel ashamed for what you're doing to your parents? Like, they care for you so much. And yet you're putting them through torture because of your choices.
Do you ever get a response? Do you ever hear a response back?
No, most of the time he gets short-fused and walks away.
So this way, I would invite the Brett now, because where he's disappearing and then that other one comes in and takes over. It's almost like he's at a point that if the guilt, the shame, the knowing what he's done, the loss of who he is, will actually be used more with him to disappear him.
Yeah.
So at this point, it would be really good if you communicated to him as if he's passed on, and the memories of who he was. So sometimes an example of this is with horses. So I learn a lot from my animals.
I have horses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
They teach me so much. They'll take on the container of the person. And so sometimes if the person's raging, the horse will get frantic, right? And then no matter how good a horse is, when I sold them to somebody, if the chaos got held too long in a horse and they didn't know how to release it, the horse became a crazy horse or like their owners. So what we needed to do in the clearing process of what they took on as a container, which is him, he's taking on a container, is reminding the horse of who they are, what was good, what the values were. I remember seeing you frolic powerfully in the field or something, calm, not scared of this. That was amazing. And so if you were to give a confidence piece or just a remembrance of him to be like, oh yeah, there was another part of me in this life, not just this shame and shit and yuck.
It is something that when I do try to talk to him, because he worked in the same field as me, kind of. He was a painter, and I mentioned to him a lot of the times. I said, Brett, you're a great painter. Like, I could use your help these times, but you just refuse to even work anymore. I'm like, I used to be able to give you these jobs and be able to count on you. You were a great painter. And he sometimes he'll say, I still am, but he doesn't want anything to do with it, though.
Yeah. Okay. So are you okay if we talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this, just so you guys know, Brandon and I are going to breathe into our space, and we're going to create a space where he can't come through, but he can still talk to us. And that's for everybody's safety, even you guys watching.
Right.
What I would love for you to say to him is any memories you can pull up that were enjoyable to you or you thought was exciting about him or a strength that you saw, even if in a brief, crazy moment, and try to not bring up the other side of it. Even though you're still good, just straight. This was it. This was it. I remember this. I felt this. I saw you do that. And just whatever ones kind of come up for you. And don't try to force them, but just bring them as they come up. And we're going to invite him as he comes in, his brother, to be open to helping to the connection of memory of who he is. And we're going to create a bypass past the entities into his heart.
Okay.
And you're only going to be able to go as long as you can go with it. Okay, right. So you ready to do this?
Yeah.
So we're basically taking a streamline right into his heart, and then we're filling it up with some light and remembering, and then we're closing it and bringing it out, and we're just leaving it with him.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so I'll walk you through it real quick. Okay, so if you're watching, we want you to just keep breathing and moving. If you feel your body tensing up at all at any point, then you're going to be holding stuff that we're trying to move through. So keep breathing as watchers, and anybody else that's in this room, you just keep breathing. That's the biggest thing. Okay, so Brandon, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, and I want you to just start breathing into your body. Take a great, big, deep breath, and then just exhale it out. I want you to breathe in this time, feel your spine filling up with air and light and oxygen. Strengthen your whole spine. And then I want you to breathe in and feel strength into your feet and grounding into the ground and empowerment. And now I want you to, this next breath, breathe into your solar plex, knowing who you are and your purposes, so they can't be skewed. And then when you breathe in, I want you to breathe into your throat and allowing truth to be heard. And then as you do it, I want you to breathe into your stomach and diaphragm and allow digestion of information to be clean. And then you're going to breathe into your face, your head, and your brain and allow relaxation for clarity of flow. And now I want you to breathe out until you feel the width of your container, your energy in this room. And it feels like it's got strength still. Keep breathing until you feel that strength stops to where it is. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to invite your brother in. And I'm refraining from saying his name out loud, but he knows who he is. And so as he starts to come in, he has the ability to come right up to the wall as if it's a glass that we can hear through, but not through. He cannot enter. And so let me know when you feel him up there ready.
I do.
Okay, good. And so now with your heart, I want you to inform him that you are going to connect into his heart before you do it and create a funnel where you can share truths of who he was that you remember. Okay, go ahead. And is he willing to receive that? He doesn't even have to say anything.
I feel super hesitant.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Tell him we'll keep it safe and it'll only be as long as he wants. Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so talking to his brother, I'm going to let him know that he gets to let us know how long this goes. And that will be, you'll know, Brandon. Okay, so go ahead and take a breath in into your heart and allow this to connect into his heart, passing through anything that could possibly defer it with strength. They cannot touch it. And when you feel his heart, let us know. It could be big, it could be small, just whatever it takes. Okay. All right. So when you're ready, I want you to share with your brother the light and the good memories of what you remember he is.
Brett, we miss having you as the funny little uncle that you're always around and so great with the kids. Always been able to make everybody laugh, so charming and personable, and always there, like loving your mother. Some of the fun trips that we've gotten to go on, always being the silly one to do something stupid, jump off the bridge into ice cold water for no reason for $20. Miss that, Brett.
Good.
Yeah.
Can you give him one time where you saw his strength anyway?
You're always so strong at just being personable, talking anybody into anything. Such a salesman.
Excellent.
Charming for everybody to always be around.
Is there anything else you could receive?
I don't think so.
Okay. So go ahead and tell him that you love him and that you're going to safely close this up for him.
Just know, Brett, that we all love you. I love you. You need to close this at this time.
Okay, so go ahead and see it closing out of his and allow it to seal up inside of him, protected from everything. And allow it come through the barrier of us, our light, and then back into your heart. And whatever needs to stay with him stays with him. And whatever comes back with you that's yours gets to come back to you fully. And so now what I want you to do is I want you to just kind of check your surroundings and see if there's anything that you may have brought back with you that is foreign and you don't need it.
No, I feel good, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. So if there was, then we would create another process where we would remove those from it.
Sure.
Really easy and quick and fast. Okay. So what that's going to be like for him is he's going to be able to hold that. And no matter what happens, whether he stays or he goes, whatever comes in, whatever doesn't, he's going to have that safely with him. So what's that like for you?
I mean, it's hopeful. Hopefully that's something that he can pull through with, that maybe that he remembers those good things rather than the way he is now.
Yeah. What I want to share with you is there's a lot who has passed on that's extremely grateful for you and for the strength that you've had. And I keep hearing even the secret strength that you had, that some of them saw this power in you and strength in you that didn't make sense, but they're all grateful for it. And that your brother's been grateful for it also. And that your mom, she saw a lot of it when you were younger. And she holds on to that very tightly. And that when you show up, no matter however you show up, she always, always remembers you. in those pure lights, even if she doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. She's without words a lot. Yeah.
And you're moving into a next space. You're shedding off yourself. You're shedding off some burdens. You're shedding off some protections that you've had to have.
Yeah.
I even see like almost like a cloak, a Viking cloak of fur and stuff that your guards that you've been told you're allowing it to be rested, to try out what it feels like as you without all of it that you've needed. And I'm saying it's going to be good. It's going to keep getting good.
That's good to know. It's been heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's wounds that have made it all the way through in
Sure.
that are still bleeding, that are still needing help, there's actually going to be some that might have to wait a little bit and you'll have to kind of Band-Aid them up or, however we help make it through things, right, for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until other ones get healed up. And I mean, I keep seeing you just flourishing more and more through this year as it goes. And next year's going to be completely different for you. Completely different.
This year started to be much better already. Obviously, last year was tough for almost everybody, but this year started to look a lot better.
A question that you can ask when it pops up in your head is, what's something today or right now, however you want to say it, today or right now, giving you space, right, for time. It's up to you, whatever you feel. What's something that I can today let go or put down? Actually, I would say a lot of people I say let go, but it's like more like, no, what can I put down today? And when you get that answer, the first 5 seconds is the most cleanest answer you can get. If it gets blurry, just take a breath and start over again, ask it again. And then if you put that down, it doesn't mean it's not there. It just means you can work freely without that weight, without that confusion that day or that minute or that month or whatever it is. And you want to do one right now?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to help a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel that. I do.
Is there anything that you want to tell me for me?
I don't think so. I appreciate what you did yesterday. It gave my family a lot of clarity, kind of some validity, something that I've talked with Kathy and stuff. We've kind of known for a long time. And I think my family kindly having you as an outside person and what I've told them about you. And it gave my family some peace and some clarity. So I appreciate that.
Good. Well, I appreciate you guys giving me that space to do it and trusting me. That's a big...
Yeah, it turned out to be a lot bigger than I think you maybe expected at first. So
it's good.
But it was great. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming on and being so vulnerable on my show. And it's going to help a lot of people in the shadows be able to know that there's other ways to work through stuff. And give me a hug. I'm gonna push this away.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too. And for you watching, I would love you to just go take a deep breath and sigh out some stuff. And thanks for joining. If you want to share in the comments how that was for you, we'd love to know. Okay, bye.